And this is what I want you to think about. What does saying that the federal government does not have the right to tell a state that it can be slave or free because slaves are property of an individual, what does that do to the Compromise of 1850? Okay, but if a state votes to choose, hey, we're going to be a free state, what does that do? What does it matter?
It don't do nothing, really, because if you got your slave, the federal government...
According to Dred Scott, it does, though, because what did they say? Dred Scott was in a free state, but he still wasn't free, right? Yeah. So if you vote for your state to be free, and I have a slave, and I bring that slave to your state, what does the Supreme Court say? What about that person? What have they said about that person?
They're not a citizen.
Yeah, they're still a slave. So it doesn't matter. The Compromise of 1850 is out the window.
They did the same.
Yeah, they did. They did. And the federal government has actually issued apologies for the Dred Scott decision in our past. Yeah, it was a rough decision. It was a rough, I mean, not rough in that it took them time to deliberate and decide it. It's rough in its effect. It was it had a very bad effect, particularly for African Americans. So a lot of people are upset about this. And it's this collection of things that eventually leads people to go, you know, enough's enough. You know, I'm tired of yelling and fighting with you. Let's take it outside. Right? That's right. This is how the Civil War starts. What particularly is the straw that breaks the camel's back is that in the 1860 election, a Southern Democrat who's very pro-slavery runs, and a Northern Democrat from Illinois named Stephen Douglas runs, and he's not as much pro-slavery. So the Democratic Party is split, the Republican Party has gotten stronger, and they win. Now the Southerners no longer have control of the presidency or Congress. And what's their worry? What's their fear? Christian, what do you think?
What's that?
What is the Southerners' fear now that they don't run Congress or the presidency? Okay, if they don't run it, who runs it? If the South doesn't run it, who runs it?
The North.
The North. So what are they worried about? Casey, what do you think? What is the South? The South no longer controls the government. What are they worried about if the North controls?
They're going to change the slavery.
Yeah, power, because that power can change slavery, right? So they decide we can't live in a country like this. We're going to break away from the Union. Who was the man that won the presidency that year? The Republican. Abraham Lincoln. Monday, that's what we're going to focus on, is that election of Abraham Lincoln.
Proclamation.
Now, what I think a lot of people, particularly in this area, forget is that Abraham Lincoln was down. He was a homeless.
He had a slave.
Seriously, Lincoln did not have slaves. Lincoln never owned a slave. He is from this area. I mean, he spent several weeks every year in Champaign. Yes, he did. Honest to God, he was a lawyer here. He traveled around on what they call a circuit, going to different courthouses on this circuit, the 8th Circuit in Illinois. So he would go from Bloomington to Champaign to Danville, down to Paris in Edgar County. And a lot of people knew him. He was a good guy. Back then, there's no TV, there's no radio. So when the county court goes into session that couple weeks every other month, that's big entertainment. You go down there to see the lawyers argue, and they're smart, and they got good stories. And Abraham Lincoln was a star. If you had family that has lived in this county for any period of time, then they probably knew Abraham Lincoln. So what we're going to do Monday is we're going to watch a video that gives a short history of Illinois, Champaign County, and Abraham Lincoln during that time period. Now, what was Champaign called then? Can you take a guess? Close. West Urbana. Very good. Yeah, West Urbana. How'd you know that? You're the first person to know that. You're the first person to know that. Okay, so I went through the issues with you one by one, gave you a foretaste of Monday. Do you have any questions about the questions in the back? Number one, what issue brought about the Missouri Compromise as a solution?
The two-part thing.
Okay, who wanted to be a state? Who wanted to be a state?
Missouri.
Missouri. The application of Missouri to be a state is what brings this about.
So what?
The application of Missouri to be a state. Any other questions?
Number 2.
Number 2? What law required?
That is the Wilmot thing, right?
No, that never got passed. But what got passed in its place? Henry Cline. There you go. Compromise of 1850. Any other questions?
Wait,
Yeah, number
what's
3.
number 1?
The application of Missouri to become a state. Any other questions?
What were some positives of the war for the United States? That's Mexican. Yeah, I know. I'm just asking.
Talk to me after class. We're working on this one right now.
Number
Okay?
3.
Number 3. What did the Wilmot Proviso hope to accomplish?
No free slaves, no slave state, the old territory.
Yeah, it hoped to ban slavery in the new territories.
Help to what?
No. No.
All right, number 4.